Hi guys, GB News invited on a columnist from the Daily Telegraph, the pro-Tory, pro-Brexit outlet, who had an interesting take on why the head of Autoglass is donating £5 million to the Labour Party. She believes it's because of Brexit. Now the panel think it's bad news for the Tories, but I believe this is business as usual. However, what is the motivation behind this injection of cash? Is it because they want to influence, or is it that they just want to keep the Tories away from the levers of power? Have a listen.
So many other little Labour stories doing the rounds. A new super donor, £5 million being donated from an autoglass boss. His name's Gary Lubner. These aren't the kinds of donations traditionally Labour has attracted.
What's he giving this money to?
To the Labour Party ahead of an election year.
Right, okay.
And he says, and I quote, he wants to put the party in power for a long time. I mean, they haven't traditionally...
That's because autoglass repair, autoglass replace.
Oh, my God. You said jingle.
Very effective strategy in campaigning, which is probably very worrying to Conservative HQ.
I know, because, like, no one... Jingles, I remember so many jingles growing up in the 90s, and now very few people seem to do them. When you have a good jingle, it's there forever.
But, Madeline, the significance of a £5 million donation will have the Tories concerned, because that has the power to transform a campaign. And I do think it is interesting why business have come out in support of Labour. Is this a Brexit thing? You know, we know there's a lot of disquiet in the business community about some of the friction that they've experienced. And you know, is this a reaction to that? A lot of soul-searching, because the Tories can't afford these kinds of donations to be going to the opposition.
No, they can't, and it's a sign of the very strong position that Labour is now in. I mean, there's no way in hell that Jeremy Corbyn was getting any donations of this kind. Keir Starmer has really made massive overtures to the business community, and it'll be interesting to see what that means. I mean, certainly there are many people who are exporters, particularly, who are struggling with the implications of Brexit, and it would be interesting to see what Keir Starmer might offer them, because there's also, I suppose, the danger that if you go too far, that he might once again be seen as someone that wants to undermine or reverse the referendum, which was quite destructive for Labour at the last election. OK, well, when it comes to the referendum, they won't be undoing the referendum, they will be offering another referendum, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So let's leave that. But what's the motivation behind this donation? Is it about influencing the Labour Party, influencing Keir Starmer? I don't think that's the case here. They're sick and tired of the Tories. And when we imagine a company like Autoglass, what do? They replace windscreens, windows in cars. So of course, they're importing huge amounts of material from abroad, some of it from the EU, probably some of it from Asia. So they're impacted deeply by Brexit. I don't know when it comes to the workforce, if they used to rely more on foreign labour, whether they're struggling to get access to the workers they need to continue their operations. But I imagine their biggest cost now, as a consequence of Brexit, is importing the materials they need. And they probably deem it viable to donate £5 million to the Labour Party to make sure that the Conservatives are out, under the hope that Labour would get a better deal in regards to Brexit going forward. Labour is, of course, a pro-European party. Whether Keir Starmer is pro-European or not at this moment is not really all that important. But if the party is more pro-European, if the party is willing to try and undo some of the damage of Brexit, then businesses, of course, will welcome that. What they can actually achieve remains to be seen. But I think the Labour Party saying we're going to try and reduce this friction, we're going to try and make it easier for businesses to operate. Of course, they're going to receive lots of donations. I don't think it's so much about influencing the party. It's more about making sure that the Tories are out, because the Tories are the Brexit party, the modern Brexit party, and it's going to damage them for the foreseeable future. So it's really also interesting that you have somebody from the Daily Telegraph talking about how, the Labour Party are the party of business, it seems, and how Brexit is damaging British industry. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.